everybody. Hi. A loud crowd. Okay.
And we also have the beautiful Dawn Wells coming down and Jeremy Ambler. One small note, Bob Tevis usually does an interview on stage with one or two of the panels. He took ill, so you're going to see me on stage, but you're not going to hear from me. You want to hear from all of them. So we wish Bob, we hope he gets a little better. He actually had to go to the hospital. In case anyone hasn't figured it out, the common theme is that everyone here has been the star of a television series. So this is your chance to actually ask the questions you want, and hopefully they will give you the answers. And we ask everyone to be polite. Please turn your cell phones off, at least put it on vibrate. And we're just going to turn over a couple questions to anyone who wants to wave a hand and ask away. Go ahead.
Where Mike was here. Oh, one more where Mike was. Oh, sure. Oh, sure, well.
Unless you want to move that down, we can share. Why don't you do that?
This is very complex.
Give this to Dawn. That goes to you.
I can never shout it out.
Actually, I'd like to do this without a mic. I'd like to.
Well, of course you
Okay. It's just, it doesn't work. I'll share it.
This question's from Miss Wells. Miss Wells, if she doesn't mind.
Pardon me?
This question's for Miss Wells.
All right.
We've read a little bit on the internet. It's always the same thing wherever about the 4th season that we never got, and it just says a couple of the topics that were suggested. Is there anything that maybe we don't know that you can tell us briefly about the 4th season that we didn't have, unfortunately?
I think you probably knew more about that than I did. I don't remember that we ever had any plans at all. I mean, we were hoping to go for the 4th year, but I don't think there were any scripts that I can even remember that they would have invented at that time.
They had said Ginger was maybe going to get off the show and things like that, so.
Oh, really?
It says on the internet, but maybe not.
No. It would have been kind of fun to see what would have happened, wouldn't it?
Hi, thank you all for coming to the convention, and I have a question. I love pop culture museums. My name's Jackie, so my question to all 4 of you is, if there was one piece of work that would be your most popular, or something that's unsung, or something that represents you that says, yeah, I like to see that in a museum, your favorite TV episode you did, or maybe a record that you sung on, or something like that, a movie you did, what would it be? These were all 4 of you.
That's a hard one.
It is one of this one, Dawn.
No, I think I'll pass it on to you. That's a tough question.
Just one, Jackie?
You can do a bunch of them if you want.
You know, I'll tell you why it's hard, I think, if I can share that, is because at the time you're doing these things, I say things, whatever they are, television, you don't have a great sense there's any real destiny, especially during the years we were doing it, because you did a show then and it played on the network, and then you had one rerun, and that was going to be the end of it forever. And that was, and you knew that to be a fact because some of the greatest films ever made in history, like Lost Horizon, after they were exhibited, they were lost. And actually, some of it was lost for good to this day. I mean, parts of it. So when we were kind of growing up in television, we had a sense of it being one and only. And that's really true because we don't get any damn residuals.
Damn it.
we were bemoaning that last night, right?
Yeah, it's amazing now what you can do with the longevity of the series and stuff. Now you can just retire after 3 years of work. God knows how much we would have made if we had just gotten paid for the reruns.
Right, and by the way, the series today, when they're making, I didn't want to look at how much they make. It's kind of,
Don't.
and they do 3 episodes or 4 episodes, they're exhausted. And we're doing 40. 30 They're gonna have 40, and those guys, you watch Land of the Giants, and your shows too. These are tough. We were doing things that movies can't do in weeks and months in 1 week. And we were working double crews. At 7 o'clock at night, you were having breakfast, okay? Because that's where the day starts.
And no rehearsals, really.
Oh, rehearsal, what was that?
You didn't rehearse anything, you just kept doing it again and again and again until you got it, I guess.
Conway?
Sir,
Yes, on Burke's Law, did you enjoy working with Mr. Barry?
yes, again, I go back to that principle, you don't really have a sense of the value of things at the time. And as I go back, I realize how really unique Gene Barry was as a character. I don't know if you can't act Gene Barry, you can't act Amos Burke, there's no way. So as I look back now, I look back with great fondness.
Right.
At the time,
Particularly, I want to say that those black and white episodes were
Right.
a lot better than the second version.
see, at the time he could be annoying because we were almost the same height. And my hair would stand up, his didn't. And he would always go to the makeup man. Say, can you get Conway's hair down a bit? And the makeup man was a friend, he would tell me this. Because when we took pictures, I was like, oh.
Taller.
Those are the days when your hair would stand up. What happened in those days?
I don't know.
Those days are gone. Those are the stand-up hair days, right?
Stand-up hair days. That's why I wore a big tip. Easy, didn't have to do things. And then I was standing next to somebody who was 6 feet tall. And, you know, I had these short shorts on, and here are these long legs standing next to me.
So-
They had me on the box half the time.
Right, for sure.
Dawn Wells,
Yes?
I like your web series, your YouTube series. When's season 2 coming out?
I don't know what, we're about to do some more of it. It's kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting now that you can do things instantly and get it aired and people can watch it at home. It's very different than having to shoot the pilot and hope it sells and what happens next. We're all in your house now all the time.
Yeah,
Stay out of mine.
I mean, really, when we were doing that, a whole year would go by. I mean, first of all, you maybe come in for an interview and they say, we'd like you to do the show, and then maybe 6 months later you do
I
it.
call you back.
And then a year later, you're doing the show. A year and a half of your life is going by, and you couldn't do anything else because you're waiting on this.
Calling to see, is it going? Is it sold?
Going or gone?
American Graffiti was shot in 28 nights. It was nice, because the whole story took place within one night and one morning.
I just have a comment. I've been watching the promos on UTV. I don't know who writes that stuff, but it's hilarious.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Don't you love Harry Mason coming by or Gilligan going by with it? I don't know how to do it all. I think it'd be fun to be in creative meetings.
I'm really enjoying some of the ideas. They have clingers on the phone talking to the different people.
Yeah, very fun.
That's BTV.
Me too.
I'm going to lead in with a couple questions I've had. Of recent, a lot of your television shows, for all of you, have come out on DVD. And I know some people want to collect them, but they don't want to look back and see themselves. They can see improvements, but they get it for their grandkids or their children who want something immortal. Does the studio send them to you complimentary, or are you stuck having to go out and buy them? Because I've heard both from different celebrities, depending on the series.
I've never gotten anything free. Have you ever gotten anything free?
It'll come as a surprise. When I was at June Foray's house 2 years ago, I asked her, I said, did you save all the cartoon DVDs? Do you get them, do you go out and buy them to keep track of what all you've done? She pointed to the wall, and Warner Brothers had sent her over the years 500 and some DVDs. Every time a Looney Tunes was released on DVD, they sent her one.
Who's her agent?
Yeah, that's it.
Al?
Cindy, how did you and Penny get along doing the show?
Now, Did you say during the show?
Yes.
Well, we're both Italians, and me too. We're all Italian. We had different processes of working because we shot our show in one. We rehearsed the show for 4 days, and then we shot it in one night. And we did it in sequence, like a play. They bring the audience in, and so we did it like a play. So Penny's process, she has a mind like a steel trap and can memorize like that. I'm dyslexic, and it takes me forever. And so she would sometimes get very impatient with me and say things like, "Are you ever going to get that?" And I'd say, "On Friday, I'll be there." And so we worked differently, but it ended up working for the characters and for the show because we're different personalities like that.
Did you have an audience?
Yes.
Oh, you did. Did you?
Oh, you were one camera.
Yeah.
It was right. We were a 3-camera show with another camera hidden. And we did it like Lucille Ball did her show, like I Love Lucy. In fact, it was on the same sound stage, and it was mostly the same crew. So Desi Arnaz had come up with this idea for her show because she was so big and, and the show was physical. So he put the cameras on dollies, and the dolly operator would rehearse. And so the focus puller was on the dolly, and the cameraman, and the dolly, the grip would pull or push the camera to follow us around. So it was like a tracking shot, but it was on a stage. So that's how we did this. We did the show.
Well, it's interesting because Gilligan's Island had no audience. And it's very, when you're doing comedy, you know the timing and you know what works. And if you do it again, you know you can get a bigger laugh. And watching Bob and Alan doing this stuff with no audience reaction, it was interesting to see how you can pull that off without having
The whole cast pulled that off on Gilligan's Island.
Did you ever have to do a play with no audience?
Why did you bring it?
A couple of times.
Not many times that I can remember.
That is really tough.
Karen, what was doing Teenage Frankenstein?
What was what?
Doing Teenage
What about it? It was something, I was at UCLA, is that what you're asking? The background of that? Yeah. I was at UCLA, art student, and I was a bouncer at the roller derby for a trip. That's, by the way, the education was free, so I went to UCLA free, but the little money I made was, bouncing.
Wow.
Yeah, and usually you stop fights and you end up getting it. So when somebody came by, I said, "Would you like to do a movie?" That sounded interesting at that time. So how much? Whatever they said sounded. I had to go downtown to the roller derby to do it. So, and then I had seen, I'd seen Teenage Werewolf with Michael Landon, and it was this huge hit. And it was so out of the way the studios were doing films, so I'm a teenage werewolf with Michael Landon and Teenage Frankenstein. They made this big deal of it. So I did it, but just in case, I changed my name.
No, you didn't.
Well, I didn't know. It was not quite like being a porno film. It was,
You did that for the porno folks too?
I should. But the deal was I was a very serious art student at UCLA. And UCLA had quite an art department that was prominent artists in it. And I could imagine myself going in there like in an afternoon, and one of the people there in the class would say, "Well, how's Teenage Frankenstein? What was his name?" And I could see this haunting me, so I changed my name. And my name is Gareth Kerman. And I changed it to Conway, which is a family name, and Gary. And so, but when it was so funny, because I thought you would see me. So it came out, it also was an amazing hit. It really, in many ways, later on changed the business. But I remember at UCLA, there's a theater called the Crest Theater, right? As you go into UCLA. And I'd never seen a line around the Crest Theater. And I'm coming to a class one evening, I see this line going around the theater. And what the heck is that? I was a teenage Frankenstein, so my name knew it was not going to work. But that's my initiation.
Hi, this is Cindy. Cindy, I'm such a huge, I've just always been such a huge fan of yours. I just, obviously, you know, you're in Laverne and Shirley. You guys did such physical comedy. It just amazed me. Did you ever get hurt?
A couple times. When we first started the show, Penny and I, well, we'd been writers together before we did Laverne and Shirley, and so when we got the show, we both thought in cartoon terms, and so we would, the second show, I think it was the second or third show, we had this fashion show, and I'm supposed to introduce her, and she comes in on a rope. And so Penny and I would always gaff our physical scenes, but we talked them through because we didn't want to, you know, we wanted to save all the energy for the actual filming. So this one time I introduce her and she comes flying in on this rope, and we talked about it. We said, okay, so you'll hit the wall, and then you'll slowly slide down the wall. And it's, yeah, okay, so I introduce her, she comes in on this rope, she hits the wall and just goes straight to the ground because we had counted on gravity. Because we were thinking in cartoon terms, and she hurt her ankle very badly, and so we learned a little lesson there, but we still always thought in cartoon terms. And there was this one show for me that I just wanted to do this thing where I have my arms crossed and my legs crossed, and I'm sitting on the arm of the couch, and she wants me out of the room because she has this date. That was a show Jay Leno played her boyfriend on, and she wanted me out of the room. And she goes, don't you want to leave now, Shirley? And I said, what, and leave you unescorted? I think not. And she's supposed to elbow me like that, and I'm supposed to fall. So I wanted to do the fall and not move, just stay with my arms crossed and just in a lump go down onto the floor. So I had the property master pad the little rug with a lot of foam, and I did do that. And however, I got perpetual sciatica from it. Oh. So, but the real irony was they edited it out in reruns. So I did it that once, it worked beautifully, and
Never saw it again.
You still have the perpetual sciatica? You still-
No, I got rid of that.
Oh, because I could introduce you to spinal stenosis.
Yes, we have that in the family.
Do you want to share?
And that probably, yeah, it's one of the problems in a set is that you begin to think it's make believe, and so like they say, you have to climb up here like 50 feet. No problem, because you forget actually you're in real life. So you tend to do things you wouldn't normally.
Bravery.
That's life. Yeah, you got to be careful. Somebody has to remind you, hey, this is real life. This is not make-believe. Even though they're going to film it, it's going to look like make-believe. And in our case, we didn't have special effects. That's like it was before the day. I always have to remind people. Special effects, you can go in, you can be drunk, you can be excited, it doesn't matter, you can look great, right? But not when we were doing shows. You had to do everything, and he did it too. Yeah, there's a whole very different world, believe me.
And when you watch Bob Denver with how his body was just elastic.
Yes.
All the falls and all that kind of stuff. He never got hurt, but he was really, did much more stunts than you would ever think about.
Ms. Wells,
Yes.
I know you did some Warner stuff in your early appearances. Did you ever do a Maverick?
2 or 3 of them, yeah.
Maverick.
Maverick, yeah. I did a lot of stuff on Warner Brothers. That was my first really work, I'd say. 6 or 7 shows in a row. But that was a really hot studio at that time, too. Everything was being done there.
Yes.
All the westerns.
Also for Cindy, do you have any memories of Robin Williams on the episode?
Yes, I have many memories. I'm going to tell you a really sweet thing about Robin. Over the years, because at Paramount on the lot, when we were doing Laverne and Shirley, there was Happy Days Next Door, and there was Taxi, and there was Bosom Buddies, and what was that Law show? Anyway, there was more community. And so I would always, whenever I'd see Robin, I'd say, hey Robin. And he'd turn around and I'd say, it's just you, me, and Esther. And he never got the joke, as no one here got it. I named every other actor or actress who had the last name of Williams, and I'd say that's just you, me, and Anson. And he never got it, but he was so sweet that he'd always go, oh, we just, I got to go to George Lucas's 50th birthday party up in Northern California, and Robin was there, and it was right after he'd done Mrs. Doubtfire. And I had my kids, they were little at the time, with me, and Robin was going through his backpack doing something. He had his back to us, and the kids said, Mom, it's Robin Williams. And so I tapped him on the shoulder, and he turned around and said, hey, Robin, it's just you, me, and Esther. And he went, oh. And then he saw the kids, and he went right into Mrs. Doubtfire. And he started addressing them like, oh, children, look at you. And it was just lovely. He was a lovely, lovely guy. And a great talent.
And for each of you, do you have a favorite actor or actress that you would just always work with, if asked?
Well, you know, I've worked with a lot of people, but, you know, with these guys here, I grew up watching them, so, you know, any opportunities to, you know, work with people that you grew up watching, you know, is always, you know, one of those things where it's always a must, you know. Like I worked with Veronica Cartwright in the Town That Dreaded Sundown remake. And, you know, growing up watching her, you know, and Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds and Aliens and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool, you know, because we got killed on screen together. So, yeah. So, yeah.
That I grew up watching. Well, I'll tell you, when television was my babysitter, you know, and it was the great era of television, the 50s. And I was in love with Gail Storm. And, yeah, my little Marchie. And I got to meet her at one of these, and it was the thrill of a lifetime. I didn't get to work with her, but just meet her. But I had taken so many things from her, you know, takes, and just absorbed her as a child, you know, watching her. So that was a thrill for me, a big thrill. I can't think offhand of anyone. I'm sure there is someone. Oh, I got to work with Gene Kelly on the funny side, and then he asked me to do he had a special, and it was going to be live, and it was an American in Pasadena, and he asked me to sing with him, and I said, oh no. Anyway, it's a long story, but Gene Kelly, yeah, Gene Kelly.
Well, it's interesting is we were just talking about Warner Brothers, that you're a lot of stuff, and I read in a way my beginnings in terms of being in this, whatever they call it as a business.
Is it?
Started with a contract with Warner Brothers. And the reason I got the contract, because when I walked in there, they said, boy, you remind me of Burt Lancaster. And in those days, you had to remind them something here. So and I liked Burt Lancaster, I thought he was fabulous, so that was a great compliment. But if there was no Burt Lancaster, I wouldn't have got that contract, I don't know. But that's what they like to say. Actually, at one point, I can't remember the film, but I was brought in to play, I think it was his son. And I didn't, I guess maybe we looked too much alike at that point. I don't know, but I didn't get to do that. But that's usually what happens. I'm sure the same thing you reminded people. I mean, there's always something you have.
Debbie Reynolds, I think.
Debbie
Reynolds.
Oh, okay, so that's what happens. So they become your favorite people. And I also I thought Burt Lancaster was a big fantastic.
Is that after Teenage Frankenstein?
Yes.
Okay.
In the back over on the left.
Yes, Gary Conway.
Yes.
First, I love baseball. But second, I was getting memories of playing the mad scientist in
Oh, yeah. I wrote the Ninja series, by the way.
Did you?
Yes, I wrote those. And I had done Over the Top. I wrote that, and I was actually going to star in that. That was that huge studio at the time. And as a matter of fact, a producer, a Broadway producer, this is a weird thing, you probably enjoy it. So when I wrote that script, it was a very sensitive, beautiful father-son love story, but you saw it in the movie, so this is the longest far from that. But there's this producer, a very fine Broadway producer, who somehow kind of remembered all that, and recently, about a year and a half ago, he got in touch with me and he said, I want to do a theater piece, a Broadway show of that Over the Top, and I want to go back to your script, and I want you to write the play. So maybe if, like you'll be able to see it as a play, but isn't that a funny thing to do? You take this script that I felt, I don't want to say it was ruined, but they just took out, it was nothing about, none of the emotion or what this really was about. But then, all these years later, maybe we had a shot at doing it in a whole different medium, so we'll have to see. Anyway, it's finished, and it's ready to go.
Other questions? In the back, way in the back, stand up, speak a little loud.
Hi, this question is for Cindy. You worked with Michael McKean back on Fern Shirley, and he's so amazing now in Better Call Saul. I was wondering, what was he like to work with? Did you have an inkling that he could be such a fine dramatic actor as well as comedic?
Could you say the last part of that about?
Oh, sure. I just wondered what Michael McKean was like to work with, and did you have an inkling that he could be as fine as
Oh, did I? Did we have an inkling that he had that in him?
Yes.
Well, on the Vernon Shirley, he played one of the two stupidest people on earth. And both David and Michael are extremely intelligent. And I was saying to someone today that it takes an extremely intelligent person to play a funny, real, stupid person. So, because there's intelligence behind it, so it makes it funnier. Michael, yes, I saw that he could do music also, because Spinal Tap was his. And David was supposed to be in that, but something happened. He missed the meeting. Anyway, he was going to play the chauffeur, David Landon, in Spinal Tap. But Michael was always this like incredible musician, and he did do a Laverne and Shirley that was a kind of, he played the straight part and it was dramatic.